Alright, well, Celtics fans, congratulations, and much to the displeasure of my boy D Mamba, apologies, man. Like I told you, I don't think there was any way around it. That being said, I gotta say, it was really, really interesting to see how, on one hand, you had the Celtics go up 3-0. The Mavs avoid the sweep, but do so by 40, which is really, really wild to see in itself. But then you get back to Boston and, you know, they return the favor by blowing them out again for at least a second or third time this series. I don't know. I just would have liked to have thought for everything that the Mavericks did in Game 4. Had they done that in Game 3, we'd probably be looking at this a little bit differently. But unfortunately, it was too little too late, even for as significant a margin as they had, 40 plus, I believe it was. One of the highest margins in a long time since 98, where the Bulls destroyed the Jazz, which I was all too happy to see. But needless to say, I feel as if watching all this, there's an awful lot of history with this. I mean, 18 titles. Man, 18 titles. And I actually haven't even been alive for half of them, which is remarkable in and of itself. Or maybe I was, I don't know. Either way, one thing that I would say about this is it was a run that was as special as you can get. Seeing them fall short a couple of years ago against the Golden State Warriors, with Steph Curry actually clinching it in Boston, and then you have the next 2 years go by where Miami actually goes up 3-0 on them. They come back to force a Game 7, but still lose, only for Miami to go on and lose in 5 to Denver. But now you see this, and I gotta say, it's interesting how you got a couple of guys here who were added to the fold in the previous off season, and Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis, and a lot of people could argue that's what got them the championship. I mean, hell, even Joel Embiid himself actually argued that, that's what won him the championship, was them getting Drew. And you go from that to adding Porzingis, which, I mean, in all honesty, it looked like the Celtics really had an unfair advantage at that point. I mean, it wasn't even funny. And then you got Game 3, a lot of questions are arising. Can they do it without Porzingis? And I mean, I'm inclined to feel as if they actually destroyed them even worse without Porzingis. And again, it just makes Game 4 a little bit mind-boggling. But, they're celebrating on their floor. They're in the locker room. I'm watching them doing everything with the champagne and the trophy as you normally would see every year with the champions right now. And Porzingis even got him a Miller Lite. Man, that's something else. But, just the way this group came together, and it was really, really wild. They were hot seemingly throughout the season, and it just didn't seem to let up, and yet a lot of people had questions whether or not he was going to be able to, or whether or not they were actually going to make it work this time around. But now those questions have been answered, and I don't think there's any denying it now. The Boston Celtics are now an 18-time world champion. And first time in, what was it? I think they said 13 years, 12, 13 years, because, yeah, actually 12 years. 20, no, not 12 years, 16 years. Wait, no, see, that's where my math is bad. No, that is right, 16 years. because that was 2008, so 8 plus 16 is 24. I should know that. I'm actually good at math, but anyways, I'm pretty sure I shouldn't be stealing that from another YouTuber. But anyway, no, I remember what it was like watching that series back then, which, was just as dramatic. I mean, we had the Celtics and the Lakers, bringing back the good old days, but, I think this is something that could be a potential new rivalry. Take nothing away from Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, or the rest of the Dallas Mavericks. They were actually fantastic outside of this particular series. And even for everything that they were able to accomplish in Game 4, I don't think it was anything indicative of how this series turned out. Because, if nothing else, a lot of people actually had them, I believe, Vegas had the Mavericks as the early favorites to win. I wish I had a place to bet on the Celtics if that were the case. Oh man, the money I'd have made, but oh well. I'll have to see what I can get off of all of these vids. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to go ahead, leave it at that. It's definitely been a remarkable season, and this was definitely a good way to see it end, or at least for most folks. I really didn't have a horse in this race in particular. I just felt like Boston was clearly the better team, and that was proven. I mean, I don't think there was any real one-wayer about it. I mean, for everything that Dallas was able to accomplish, Boston just had that and maybe a bit more, and it just goes to show. So, with that in mind, I'm just going to go ahead and leave it at congratulations to Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and the rest of the Boston Celtics, your new 2024 NBA World Champions.